Okay, we're on part 8 of this book right here, Prevent and Reverse Kidney Disease by me, Pete Rogers. We're going to talk today about black people, about why do black people have so much kidney failure? Why do black people have so much hypertension? And first of all, when you look at a conventional medical textbook, they're basically communists, they're lying scumbags. They pretend to have the moral high ground, but they're really evil. Okay, what am I talking about? They're going to say, well, hypertension in general. They'll say over about 95% of it, 95% really is essential hypertension, meaning of unknown cause. We talked about this before. It's idiopathic. The doctor's an idiot and the patient's pathetic. But it's worse than that. Then they say, well, it's associated with aging. Well, sometimes it seems to be due to socioeconomic disparity, like implying racism, okay? I'm going to tell you something. It has nothing to do with racism or poverty. That's all BS. In Kenya, the study from Lancet Journal 1929, author C.P. Donison, blood pressure in the African native. Okay, 1,800 consecutive hospital admissions. What was the percent of them with hypertension? 0. Where they ate a plant-based diet. It was 0. Okay? So it's got nothing to do with anything except whether or not you eat plants. Because what I was taught also as a medical student and a resident, well, blacks are more salt sensitive, it's genetic, there's nothing you could do about it. That's all nonsense. When blacks eat a plant-based diet, they don't get hypertension, okay? It's BS. Okay, and spare me with this racism stuff. It's ridiculous. Okay, it's got nothing to do with that. Blacks eat a lot of processed food. Processed food is high in sodium, low in potassium, low in magnesium. That causes hypertension. Okay, blacks drink a lot of tap water without filtering. When I was a kid, I drank tap water. I didn't know any better. Later on, I learned about the importance of filtering your water for multiple reasons, including to lower the exposure to estrogenic chemicals. Estrogenic chemicals are quite high in tap water, and they increase the risk of gaining weight, obesity. Obesity is associated with hypertension, associated with diabetes, associated with fibroid tumors, associated with prostate cancer. That's a big part of why blacks have an increased incidence of fibroid tumors in the uterus in the women, increased incidence of prostate cancer in the men, increased incidence of hypertension. If you took 1,800 consecutive adult men admitted to a hospital and checked them their blood pressure, probably about 80% of them would be hypertensive, okay? So that's your answer right there. So now why is it that processed food has such high rates, high amounts of sodium and low amounts of potassium? We talked about the origin of life, to form cells, you had high amounts of potassium inside the cell and magnesium. When you process food, you typically grind it and smush it, and then you rinse it with water and solvents. You rinse away all the potassium and the magnesium. Then you add back sodium to make it taste good and as a preservative. So it's real high in sodium and it's really low in potassium and magnesium. It's the opposite of a regular healthy plant food, okay? They also add MSG and MFG, monosodium glutamate, manufactured-free glutamate, because it makes it taste good, makes it hyper-palatable. People tend to overeat those foods. They tend to gain weight. The very high rates of obesity in blacks, okay, especially black women. There's your answer. It's not mystery. It's obvious. They need to eat more plant foods and eat less processed food. And millions of people die every year because they don't know that. And conventional medicine never tells that. It's not in any of the conventional medical books. Conventional doctors do not know this. But it's an easy problem to fix, but nobody fixes it. You just match the ill to the pill, send a bill. Okay? But it's easily fixable problems. Hypertension and diabetes are the gateway diseases to kidney failure. Most patients on dialysis have hypertension and diabetes. And if people learn that they could eat plant foods instead of eat all this processed junk, there'd be a lot less hypertension, diabetes, and kidney failure. Okay, so the next thing is, actually, why do I make such a big deal about this diet? Well, you know what? Let's leave it at that. I'll come back to this for the next one.